Kids on the floor, paws at the door, spills in the hall. You've seen it all. Welcome to Clean Living with Sam. I am carpet cleaning. We're the team that you need and breathe and feel that sparkle again. Welcome to Clean Living with Sam. I am. Oh yeah.
Welcome to today's episode of Clean Living with Sam. I am. This is Laura Guajardo. She is with the Clinton County Chamber of Commerce. Welcome, Laura.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
I appreciate you coming on. If you could, just tell us about your job at the Chamber of Commerce.
So my job at the Chamber is I'm a membership engagement director. So if you want to become part of the Chamber, or if you have questions or anything like that, that I'm your person to go to for that. So, but really like helping small businesses or any business really in the Clinton County area get their name out there and help them with whatever they might need. So like whether it's visibility or networking or whatever that might be, we will help you with that.
Nice. And one of the things I always talk about on this podcast is relationships. They're vital to a business. We've established several relationships being part of the chamber. So I've always liked Clinton County Chamber of Commerce. I've tried some other chambers and I didn't feel like I got much out of it. Clinton County, I've always felt like it's worth the money for any small business that's trying to get established, become known in the community. What are some of the benefits? I mean, besides relationships, you guys provide like social media posts, like you repost what some of the members post. You establish those relationships. I think that's probably one of the biggest things. Getting to know other business leaders in the county to open some doors, I think is really beneficial.
It is, and I think that so we also will share your posts on Facebook. I know Zach does our marketing, but he is working on doing spotlights and like going out into the community. You get to say like a little blurb about your business and kind of, he'll put like a little video together of your business and the benefits of your business.
Right.
And he'll post it on Facebook, which I think is beneficial because businesses, there's a lot to them.
Right.
So you can't just go through and post every like what your values are or what you offer to the community. Things like you can't do that in one post. But you can say it and it's a lot faster and it's a lot easier and people don't have to read.
Yeah, I think the spotlight is something that's pretty cool, and it would definitely be a benefit because then it's not just you talking about your business, it's established organization also spotlighting your business, which is nice.
And I think that we also do the biweekly newsletter. So if you have like specials or coupons or if you anything like that, you can send it over. We'll put it in our newsletter that goes out. And it's one of those things where it's gaining so much traction and we have gotten so much positive feedback from it.
Right.
And it's amazing to see that people are looking at it, utilizing it, and it's just amazing. So I think also with the chamber, it's kind of like you get out what you put in.
Right. Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking.
It's hard though, because like if you do have a small business and you need time, like because we have Bold Business Collective, you're amazing at going to those.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's hard for people to kind of like close up shop for an hour, however long, and come and stop by. But I mean, you can gain great insights on how to help your business.
Yeah, and those Bold Business Collectives were great. I've missed the last couple, and I didn't even realize I missed the last one until I seen your Facebook post, and I'm like, dang it, I missed another one. I'm like, they're very helpful because Krista, those first 4 I think she did, they were all really helpful. I mean, just on how important it is to keep your Google page up to date. Like I didn't know any of that stuff and I wasn't doing it. And I'm
Mhm.
like, oh man, I got to get on that. So you learn some new things from basically your peers, really. Um, I'm not sure why, but Zach asked me if I would do one. I'm like, yeah, I'll do it. But you know, I think we can all learn from each other. You get a little bit of synergy without necessarily getting involved with somebody else's business. You get to pick somebody's brain or
Mhm.
get great ideas uh, for for just being part of the chamber. So that to me is another benefit. Yeah,
Yeah. And I think like knowledge for me is like a huge thing. So like even if I do it once but I'll never do it again, I have the knowledge.
right.
So even if like you don't implement these things, because it's a lot.
Yeah,
Even if you don't implement them, you can go back and look at your notes and go, "Oh my gosh, I have time. I should do that."
yeah, yeah,
But yeah, it's funny because I did real estate for a little while, and then going to those bold business collectives, I was like, "Oh my gosh, I want to get my real estate license back out again and
right.
start going
Yeah,
because
this
these
could have
are
been helpful.
right
Yeah,
because these are things that I could benefit from in my like doing real estate."
yeah,
So and it's funny like carpet cleaning, real estate, like whatever your business is, you're always going to get something out of those.
right, right.
So that's what's beneficial.
Well, and you even have like single member, like it doesn't necessarily have to be a business, correct?
That is correct. So we have individual memberships, and you still get, I mean, it's less of a cost annually, but you still receive all the same benefits
Right,
as a chamber member. We have like a handful of people that are individuals, um, and I mean, they're just as important as the business.
right,
They're supporting Clinton County,
right.
and I mean, enough to, go to the chamber and get involved.
Yeah, and that's something that like if you're thinking about starting a business, it's a great place to get the information you need on how to engage with the community, how to um, also get ideas on how to start that business. I know they've started a financial series for the Bold Business Collective for businesses. It's a wealth of knowledge,
It is.
and you got people who've been running businesses for a long time, and you got people who've been running businesses for a few years. Somebody like me, and I just I really think it's a great system, and the fact that it does support Clinton County. It's not just Frankfort; it's everywhere in Clinton County, and it to me it's worth the money. I've looked at other chambers as well, and because we serve several counties, but I look at do I will I get anything out of this,
Right.
or what's the cost up front? I'm like some of them, some counties, small counties, are charging more than Clinton County, and I'm like, I just can't see spending that kind of money right now.
Right.
But not to say that I don't want those counties to do well economically and business wise, but at this point, I just can't see doing it.
Right.
And time wise, I barely have enough time to make the meetings at the Bold Business Collective or board meetings.
Right.
That I gotta like, all right, I gotta take off, and the guys have to pick up my slack when I'm not out there. So, um, but yeah, that's beneficial. I mean, and you got a great team there.
Yeah.
You really do. You've got Shannon, who's the
Shan is Shan.
he's the mouthpiece
He
of the
is.
organization.
He is. He is. It's so funny because, like, if he's off to a meeting and someone comes in and needs something, and I'm like, oh, man, Shan would know that. If I could just have, like, the littlest, like, just like a little tiny sliver of the knowledge that he
Yeah,
has. And, he's not from Frankfurt,
yeah,
which is crazy. But he has been here and he talks to people and he knows and
yeah,
he listens. And that's what makes him great.
yeah,
And but okay. So I've almost worked there for 2 years, and it'll be 2 years in October. And just the small amount of information and the amount of people that I have met, it's amazing.
Yeah.
And I've really only lived in Lafayette and Clinton County. So I, it's like Clinton County is just different.
Yeah.
It's so homey
Yeah.
that I don't like. I can walk down the street and then people are like, "Oh, hi, good morning, good afternoon," and
Yeah.
it's like in Lafayette, I don't think that you would ever really get that.
No. No.
So it's just different here.
Yeah, I remember. So I didn't come to Clinton County until 2008, and right before that, I was living in Wisconsin, and I remember coming down here because my dad was sick, and I went to Walmart, and just the difference between people down here and people up there, and like people were friendly and polite and kind to allow you, like, oh, you go ahead, or
Right.
actually take time to make conversation with you. Um, so yeah, it is different. I just remember even from that far back how different it was down here. And I didn't plan on moving here, but life made some decisions. My actions caused most of it, but life just took a turn for me, and this is where I ended up, and I'm pretty happy to be here. I don't live in the county right now, but I do so much in the county
Hmm.
that it is home for me. And eventually, I imagine if we can find a place, we may move to Clinton County. My wife's really pushing for that just because we do so much there. She works there in Frankfurt, and it's where we do a lot of things. That's where we go to church. That's where our kids take dance class. It's just part of our life, no matter what.
Right. And
So,
then when you're here, because I mean, even when I mean, we moved to Colfax. That's
mhm.
when you did our
Yeah,
our house there, and we didn't stay very long. But it's funny because I feel like Colfax wasn't, maybe it was too small for us. I'm not
yeah,
sure. We didn't stay for a long time, but I feel like, not to go off on a tangent, I guess, but like, so I think, like, in a way, looking back at it, like, God put us there for a reason,
yeah,
because my dad got sick and then he was at Methodist, and it was such, and his wife or girlfriend didn't live far from us.
oh,
So I would pick her up and then take her to.
yeah,
So it's like one of those things where I look back at it now and I'm like, I think I was supposed to be there
right,
during that time.
right,
And then we moved to
yeah,
Rossville.
yeah. It's that is one thing that's kind of different about Clinton County too. Like I guess probably everywhere, but like each little community is different. It's like they take pride in their community.
Hmm.
And it's harder maybe to get into an area when you're not from there.
Right.
It's like you got the locals, and then maybe after several years they'll finally accept you as somebody from Rossville or Colfax or wherever it is, Michigan town. But it's great that they all take pride in their communities,
Right. And
and
they see new faces and they're like, who are
who
you?
are you? Yeah,
Right.
they want to know who you are, where you're from,
Right. Right.
which is good,
Right.
So, uh, but yeah, I definitely like looking back. You talked about how God had you in Colfax. I mean, the same thing went for me. I mean, I never planned on moving here. I just, but my life fell apart, and this is the only place I had to come. My mom and dad had bought a house in Frankfurt, and I lost my job, my relationship, everything, and I had nowhere to go. Except for maybe staying up in Wisconsin and couch surfing with a couple buddies.
Right. Right.
And I was in my 30s. I'm like, I'm not going to do that. I'm too old for this. Although I was probably too old to go back home to parents. I'd been out since I was 17 after I graduated, and But, I had no choice. And then now I look back and it's like God had a hand in all that, because I would have never chose to live in Frankfurt, which means I would have never met my wife, which means I would never have my 3 younger kids, and it's just like God had a plan for me,
Right.
and I just didn't know it. I wasn't following him at that time. I was just trying to survive. But, I met a girl that her dad was going to a Nazarene church. I grew up in a Nazarene church in Logansport, so it was like easy to get back into the church because it was something familiar for me. And it's just nuts. I mean, when you look at it, I talk about it all the time. You'll see God if you look for him.
Right.
You know,
Or you'll realize that, oh gosh, he did this for me and
right,
I didn't even know
right.
at the time. And then you look back and you're like, oh, thank you.
Yeah,
Sorry, I
yeah,
didn't see it, but thank you,
yeah,
But and it's funny because my husband started working in Clinton County a long time ago in Frankfurt, and I had no desire to move to Frankfurt. And then
yeah.
he's like, okay, what about Clinton County? And I was like, fine. And then I don't know, we moved to Colfax. We were in Clinton County, and then it was like a pull to Frankfurt, like
Yeah,
specifically. I don't know what that pull is, but I feel like where I am now is why I had that pull.
right.
Is because now, we started going to church,
Yeah,
and we have like, and the thing about churches, it's like it's such an amazing, but it's like, yeah, you don't talk to everyone at church because we're kind of we're not antisocial,
you're
but
just not
like,
extroverts.
yeah, we're not. So we're like kind of getting there.
Yeah,
But it's one of those things where either you don't know everyone,
yeah,
you have this like family,
right, right,
and you know that they'll be there for you.
right.
So,
Yeah,
and it's amazing.
yeah. That's one of the good things. Yeah. So you've you guys have started coming to the Nazarene church, which I was surprised the day I seen you guys come in. I'm like, what? And I know Chris from working at Dispatch, and I just gotta say, Chris is a great guy. I love him. I
He's
mean, he's
amazing.
just great personality. I always liked him when I worked with him. He was one of the people that trained me at Dispatch, and I'm like, he's just easy going, easy to talk to, humble guy, and I'm like, he's a good guy. He's solid.
He's It's funny. So we had to, because we adopted our son, and then one of our things that we had to do was like say like what we loved about one, and I was like his patience.
Yeah.
Like I fly off the handle so easy. It's like do or die with me,
Yeah.
And he is just so calm,
Yeah.
and then he can bring me down, and I'm like, okay, I overreacted there a little bit, but
Yeah.
yeah, he is like, I don't know. It's just he's so patient, which is amazing.
Yeah. I'll have to have Chris on here too.
Hmm.
Talk about Dispatch and his role there, and just, yeah, he's one of those people. So like, there was some people that I worked with when I was on his shift or other shifts, and it'd just be like, there's certain people that are just dramatic, you know.
Hmm.
And I'm not necessarily that way myself. They are sweating, but um, you know, I just didn't appreciate the drama.
Right.
So working with Chris, it's like it's just easy going. Like you said, he's very patient. He doesn't overreact to things. I was like, I can work with Chris.
Right.
He's my kind of guy.
And the other thing is like, I don't even know how to explain it. Like if I told him something, or if I did something maybe I wasn't supposed to do or something, whatever the circumstance might be, he will never judge you.
Yeah,
He will say like, if I don't know, if like he had to do something at work and somebody got in trouble or whatever, it's like one of those things where you talk about it and then you let it go.
yeah,
He
yeah,
doesn't harp on it. It's almost like it never even happened,
yeah,
which I feel like it's uncommon
Right. Yeah.
because some people want to like talk stuff to death, or like some people want to go and tell other. He doesn't
Yes.
do that stuff.
No.
Like you talk about it and then you kind of move on type thing.
Yeah. Yeah. He was a great supervisor, and then I remember my sister-in-law Rachel telling me about um, that new position or the position, and I think the person who had it before or after or before Chris
Mm-hmm.
left, and she had said that Chris was interviewing for it. I'm like, he'd be the perfect person. I'm like, that would be so great. He'd be perfect at that.
And that's okay. And then going back to, it was funny because he was working at home for TDS. I'm going to tell this whole story. You don't even have to put him on here. And I don't know what happened like in the company or whatever. And it was crazy because I don't know if it was
I
Rachel.
think maybe Rachel reached out
Rachel
from
maybe
what he
reached,
told me.
yeah, Rachel reached out and said, "Hey, this position's open." And like that's another like I said, this is your sign. Like
Right.
this is, this I didn't know it at the time, but now that I'm sitting here with you, God put him
Yeah.
back. You know what I'm saying? So it's just one of those things. Like if you're not looking, you look back and you're like, oh, thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I've seen it all over my life. There's been times I didn't see it, but I wasn't looking, you
Right.
know, and, but it's always amazing when you do see it and you're like, sometimes it may be down the road and you're like, oh man, I didn't even put two and two together.
Right.
Even with like this last, I don't know, last 2, 3 months for work has been difficult. Like I've been having vehicles issues, whether it's the cleaning unit itself or a vehicle problem. It's been nonstop. Like, so I had a cleaning issue with the cleaning unit. I got that fixed, and the other van started acting up. I take that in, get it fixed, then another issue on that one. But I've always had one van,
Right.
you know, so I've had to like rearrange stuff, shuffle jobs, things like that. But I've always had one van, and I haven't had two issues at the same time, basically.
Right.
So I'm thankful for that. I'm like, and now I'm looking at adding a third van because one, you just can't afford to have two vans down when you schedule for two vans every day. So even if I don't use it all the time, at least if one goes down, I'll still be able to operate at my normal. But I'm just like, God's either telling me I need to get out of this business, or he's like, I've been trying to tell you you need to expand and grow, and you're not listening. So here's some vehicle issues to maybe get you thinking in the right direction. I don't know what it is, but I'm thankful that it hasn't been both of them down at the same time.
Right.
Um, just this week, I had I did have a water pressure issue with my cleaning unit, so I was waiting on parts. But I'm like, all right, we can get that suspension issue fixed on that same van since it's already down. Well, I got that taken care of. Finally, get the parts for the water pressure issue. We bring the van back here. I didn't have the right tool to fix the water pressure issue. But meanwhile, I noticed there's a puddle of antifreeze on the ground. So I'm looking at that and I'm like, are you for real? It looks like the radiator shot. And so then I'm like, I got to take it back to the shop. That's another big job and more money.
Right.
Just like one thing after another. So, you know, what do I do? Do I just add that van, add maybe one or two more guys and make that van make money so I can cover all that? And also when I have to, I still have two vans always running.
Right.
Yeah. So it's just crazy to know, but I know God's got his hand in it. I know God's always got my back if
Right.
I try to do what's right for him. and it may not always look the way I want it to look or how I think it should, but I'm just going to trust that at the end of the day, it's going to work out, whether it's no matter what it is, you
Right.
know. But yeah, I mean, it's been crazy lately, so that adds to my confusion sometimes. Like I don't know where I'm going, what I'm doing. Yeah, I'm just, or I know where I'm going and what I'm doing, but then something else happens, and I got to take care of that.
Right. You got to pivot.
Yeah, constantly. Some days I feel like I've pivoted all the way around, you know? But it's and that's where having people that you can reach out to and be like, hey, what do you do in these situations, or have other people to lean on in business,
Right.
because not ever if you have never basically worked for yourself, you really don't realize how much goes into a business. And I think that comes back to the chamber. You get some support there. You get people who've been there, done that, and can maybe give you some advice if you're willing to ask for it. And you kind of have to humble yourself sometimes, right? And ask for help. But I've not met anybody who's like, no, I'm not going to tell you anything. You
Right.
know?
Right. Like I feel like no matter what, people are always willing to share like little tidbits
Right.
for help. And and that's what's amazing is like we want everyone to succeed, but everyone in Clinton County also wants everyone to
Yeah.
succeed,
Yeah.
right? We want to thrive and have a great community.
Right.
And I think that we do.
Yeah.
And it's amazing. So I keep, we finally moved to Frankfurt. I think we'll be here 2 years. It's over 2 years now. And I'm like nestled and
Yeah.
happy,
Yeah.
So I'm like excited that we're here. And it was funny because I remember I can't remember if Chris wanted to join a church or how that ended up happening. But we looked around and then I was like, I was like, I don't know, not this one. No, not this one. And then it was crazy. Do you know what prison is?
What is it?
Prison?
Mm-mm.
Okay. So if Chris listens to this. So prison is like where you get goosebumps
Oh,
when
yeah.
you hear like it's music or a speech or
Yeah.
anything that's like super moving to you.
Yeah.
And I remember during one board meeting, Shan, I think it was maybe Jim's last board meeting, had Shan had Gordon pray.
Yeah.
And then I got goosebumps and I was like, that's weird. And normally I'm like super cold all the time.
Yeah.
Fun fact about me, I'm cold all the time. And I was like, well, maybe I'm just cold. So then we came here to your ribbon cutting for Sam and
Right.
I Am. And Pastor Gordon prayed again. And I goosebumps.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is crazy. So I went home after that because I was actually off that day, but I came home and I told Chris and I was like, I found it. I know where we're going. And this is
Nice.
why. And I don't know. Like I don't know what it is, but like I walk in and again, we don't talk to a lot of people there, but like I still feel like the family,
Right.
like the whole, like everything.
Well, and I know Chris is like, I'd asked him how things were going. He's like, there's more people here that I know that I didn't know came here, you know?
Right, right.
Yeah, he's like, so that makes it even better, And I'm like, that's great, But we always, I know Keith and I always talk about, like our churches, it seems to be growing. And I had a similar experience when you meet Gordon or hear him preach or pray. I mean, he's there's something different about him. I mean, I grew up in church. I've never seen a pastor like him. He cares about the people. He cares about his job and how he does his job, and he takes it all very seriously. But Keith and I'll joke, it's like you just got to get him in front of the pastor and hear a message, and then you know once he starts talking to people, then people are hooked,
Hmm.
because he does care. He's not. It's not a facade. It's he's genuine, and I think that's why people are like, all right, I like this guy, and and that's great. I mean, it to me, seeing people that I know show up at church, it's like awesome,
Right.
Um, and when I think about the business, and I was thinking about it this morning. What am I doing? What do I need to do? You know, and there's days, I get discouraged, and I'm like, I just want to get out from under this. I want to go sit at dispatch and just answer phones. But I remind myself I wasn't enjoying life when I was doing that. It's a different, not that it's a terrible job. It's just not something I would want to do long term. I
I'm sure
love
it has a toll on people.
it. Does it does, and I mean, it reminds me kind of the military almost. When I was in the military, there's just it's a different way of life because you're coping with serious situations. Whether it's kids being neglected or mistreated, or just you see the worst of people, you know, and and it's all kind of dark and heavy. So people tend to have a darker sense of humor. There's more, I don't know, like bravado and machismo. Everybody cusses like sailors, and if you're me when I was trying to work on my faith, it was always a struggle. Because I'd have one foot in the world and one foot in my faith, and it just made it harder for me to be serious about it. So that I kind of struggle with, plus just sitting for 12 hours a day, and
Oh
then
yeah.
not seeing your kids necessarily for very long, especially when my kids were younger.
Did you work third shift?
I did for a while, I think for about a year, and then I went to day shift. And, but I made great friendships there too. Guys like Chris or Mackie or Nick Hillman, who moved on and went to community corrections.
Okay.
All those people were all good friends, and Curtis, who uh, who followed me from the jail down to dispatch. We always joked about him following me places because when I first moved to Frankfurt, the first job I got was working at NHK, and Curtis, straight out of high school, was working with me there. And then I left and went to Walmart, and I'd see him occasionally. And I started working at the jail. He was working at Tipton jail, and I'm like, dude, why don't you come to Clinton County? You live over here. And I'm like, pay's got to be better. So I helped get him one at Clinton County, and so we worked together at the jail, and then down in dispatch, he ended up coming down there. I'm like, you follow me everywhere. Said, you gonna come carpet cleaning now too? But no, he's moved on to better things, being a deputy, and but you do have good friendships. It's just a different world. People that do that are special. Because not everybody can do it.
No, I couldn't do it.
I
Again,
mean,
I'm dramatic, and I go from 0 to 100.
yeah,
Chris would be like, "You're fired." I'm sorry. I would be, I couldn't do it. I couldn't even be a weatherman.
yeah,
I'm like, "Oh my gosh, a tornado's coming!" I can't do that. And it relies on. It's funny because I got in a car accident when I was on my way to Mulberry, and I was turning, and it's around that corner right before you get into Mills.
mm,
No service.
oh no,
So I couldn't call anyone. I couldn't call Chris. Finally, I walked up the street a little bit and got a hold of him, and I like broke down. And it was like the dispatcher and him kicked in. He's like, "It's okay, calm down."
yeah,
But it's something you have to have something special in you to be able to
yeah,
do it.
yeah,
I can't do it.
yeah. They always would give me a hard time because I would just answer the phone. 911, where's your emergency? They're like, you sound so monotone. And I'm like, what am I supposed to be excited? Somebody's calling 911.
Right.
I'm like, first of all, they're interrupting me. What I'm doing. But talking about going from that's one of the things I didn't like about the job because you could be sitting there doing nothing, basically just waiting on the phone to ring, and it could be anything from just a simple call to full blown emergency in a matter of seconds, and you're going from 0 to 60 in no time.
Right.
Even though you're just sitting there, there's nothing you can physically do but dispatch and get people on the way, and it's just like high emotional stress. Like it's pretty intense at times, and then you have situations where bad things happen and or something out of the blue that you never thought was going on happened, and you're like for the whole day. And I mean, even now I still remember certain calls I'll never forget.
Oh, I'm sure.
I'll be on my deathbed still thinking about a call from 2015 or whatever. It's just has that impact on you. Even though I wasn't there, I wasn't physically involved in it, I'll never forget them.
Right.
Just
And
crazy things.
it's one of those things where it's like it is like you talked about heavy. It's like the weight that you have to carry for how many ever years
Yeah.
after, and still thinking about it for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
And like I don't know, I couldn't do that.
It's hard. I mean, fortunately for me, I always tell people I have this ability to push things back, and every now and then they'll come back up, and then I just push them back again.
You're like,
Yeah,
no, not now.
I repress a lot of memories, So, um, I had Danielle and I had gone to a marriage counseling, and it not counseling, but it was a couples retreat
Okay.
through a church in Kokomo, and it was really good. But one of the things they were talking about was the difference between men and women, how they think and how they communicate. And the lady, she was like, men, they have a box for everything. That's how they keep everything separated. And women, it's like a bowl of spaghetti. It's just like it's never ending, and everything connects to each other, and so a woman can like go from here to here to where a man's like, all right, I got to put this box up and pull this box out
Go through
to think about it, and I'm like, that's true, but that's kind of how I feel like things work for me. I got a box, I put it back in the box, and I don't have to deal with it right now. But sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. But yeah. So going back to the chamber, Shan, I was gonna say, uh, that guy knows like everybody, and everybody knows Shan.
I
Yeah.
know, it's crazy. It's so funny because people walk in and they'll ask me a question, and I'm like, oh, I was like, that's Shan. Do you know who Shan is? And they're like, oh yeah, of course. And I'm like, of course you do. I have to stop asking people that.
All right. Yeah.
But we went to Nickel and Rye when it opened
Yeah.
the other day, and it was funny. People would walk in, he would get up, he'd go talk to them for a little while, and it was like, I was like, can anyone take you anywhere?
Right. Right. Yeah. You're gonna be 2 counties, 3 counties away, and everybody's still gonna. You'll run into probably one or two people. Hey, Shan, how you doing?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So, but it's funny. It's like I am an introvert, but I want to be like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
That's what I want to do. And he's trying to get me out of my comfort zone, and I we were at an event, I can't remember, and he handed me the microphone, and I was like,
Yeah.
I'm like, why? Why are
Right.
you giving me this? And he's like, I gotta go. He's like, you need to, and I'm like, no, 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 no.
Wrong person.
Tell them you're gonna be late.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm kind of that way. I really like my wife's like, you're lying, you're an extrovert. I'm like, I enjoy talking to people I know. I'm
Right.
not necessarily a person that's gonna go up and start talking to somebody I don't know.
Right.
You know, we went to the state of the chamber uh, dinner or luncheon. Pastor and I met, and we went. Well, they had us at the same table, and there was 3 or 4 other people sitting. It was 2 couples, and Gordon, he's like, "Hi, I'm Gordon. Hi, I'm Gordon. Hi, I'm Gordon." I just sit down. I'm like, I don't need to introduce myself, you know,
Right.
like I'm bad about that because I'd rather just, if I know you, I'll talk to you. And my wife says I'll just talk nonstop. But, uh, if I don't know you, it's hard for me to have that conversation.
It is. I was talking to somebody about this not too long ago. Like, if you could have, like, what we're doing now,
Hmm.
like a conversation, I could do that if I could just walk up to a normal person and just,
Yeah.
whatever. But it's not like that. You have to, like, I want to get to know you, yes, but I want to be in the comfort zone of we can just talk and flow.
Yeah.
And some people make it hard
Yeah.
to talk and flow.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where, like, I want to strive to be like Shan, and I think Zach is really good at it too.
Hmm.
But Tina and I, it was funny because when the State of the Chamber came up, I told Tina, I was like, oh, hopefully he doesn't make us talk this year. And she's like, I'll say something. And I was like, okay, thanks. So, and then he's like, well, it is good. He's right. Like, it's good for people to see us and know what we do and
Right.
stuff like that. But I get up in front of all those people and my mind is just like,
Yeah.
it just shuts off.
Yeah. And sometimes I'm I'm kind of like you. A conversation can be difficult. I'm not good at small talk. Like
Weather.
the weather, sports. I don't pay attention to professional sports. So, I used to back before they got crazy and I just kind of wrote them off. But, um, and even then, I like sports. I'd rather watch it in person. I'm not one to sit and watch sports all day on TV. It's just not my thing. I'd rather be out doing something. Um, but so small talk's just I'm not good at.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
it's like how many times can you talk about the weather? Or, you know, like so what do you do? And then they say what they do, and it's like, all right, I don't have another question.
Right.
you know?
Well, you have to give me something to keep the conversation going, but
Yeah,
then I have to remember to give them something to keep the
yeah,
conversation going. And then it's one of those things where it's just so hard. And you're like, okay, I don't know. Okay, have a great day.
yeah, yeah. And I always tell my wife, I'm like, I am kind of an extrovert because I'm a business owner. So if I see somebody that I've done work for, I feel obligated to, hey, how you doing? It's good to see you or whatever. But um, and a lot of the people that we do work for, we have good relationships with. That's why they keep calling us back. So I got to maintain that. But, I don't always do every job. So there may be people that have done work for us or we've done work for, but I don't know them because Keith or one of the other guys have done it. But yeah, to me, some of the extrovert stuff's just too much work, you know?
Right. It is. And I look at Shan and he tells me all the things. He's like, oh, I got this today and this and this and this. And I'm like, stop. I was like, you're making me, well, one, I'm tired
Yeah,
because
right.
like it's too much. Like,
Yeah, he's always on the go.
but he loves it.
Yeah,
He loves it. That's his life. And good for, like, they're good that there are people out there that
right.
are like that, because like if it was me, I'd be at home in my slam jams watching TV,
Right.
playing with my dog.
Yeah,
So it's like one of those things where, I mean, I don't know. If like it was easy to communicate with people,
yeah.
I would probably be an extrovert.
Right. Yeah, him and Gordon share that because they both stay super busy. They know a lot of people and they love talking to people. Uh, Not that I don't like it, I just don't love
Right. And it
it.
was funny because I remember talking to Gordon, and I said something about at State of the Chamber, and I was like, oh, I have to talk. And I was like, "Just talking in front of people bother you?" And he was like, "No." And then I went to one of his church services, and I was like, "Of course it doesn't. Look at him. He's like
Right.
in his element."
Right. Yeah, he is uh he talks about, like all the stuff he has going on and sometimes, how it can be overwhelming. But the one thing, no matter what, he wants to do is be able to be out there preaching,
Hmm.
and that's great. He has that desire to communicate. And I mean, it just shows every Sunday. Um, But yeah, you mentioned Tina and Zach. So Tina does the events planning
Mm-hmm.
and also kind of receptionist.
Yep.
Like,
And she makes sure that we never, like, if we need it, she's on it.
she's the lady to go to.
She is the lady
She
to go
keeps you
to.
guys running.
She does.
Okay.
And Zach does marketing, and we have Tom who does
Oh
Iron
yeah.
Walk. So it's funny though because like not that we not that we're like we're such a great team that if I told Tina, hey, I need help with X,
Yeah.
she's right there.
Yeah.
But it's like you could go to any one
Right.
of them and say, hey, let me run this by you, or can you help me with? And then it's like they'll drop everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
that
You
they have.
guys, the whole team is outstanding. I mean, Tom's another one of those guys. He's the guy I could talk to forever.
Oh, I know.
He's just easygoing, good guy. Yeah, you guys got a great team, and that is what makes you guys different than other places. Maybe the other counties are overwhelmed. I don't know, but you guys all do this with part-time work.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that to me alone is amazing that you guys can do all this just part-time. I
Yeah.
mean,
I mean, but it's one of those things like we're all there part time, but we're not afraid to pick the slack up. Or
yeah,
not, it's not slack, but like if you're not there, like
right,
we're not afraid to just do it, just get
yeah,
it done. And I think, but like we're great, but also like I know board meetings, like I want to start more committees there. Like we have
mhm,
our events committee and stuff, but those like small, like even board meeting, but even like the small, like every one of us, board and staff, we have amazing ideas.
right,
And what we want is to give back to the
right,
community. And we want people to, be able to have whatever they want. Like not whatever they want, but you know what I'm
right,
saying? Like if they want more networking, if they want more events, if they want
yeah.
more whatever it is.
Yeah, you guys are open to suggestions and
Yeah, absolutely. Just tell us what you want to see more of this, you want to see more of something else. But also sometimes the community, I had someone call in the other day and she was like, "Well, it would be nice if you guys could maybe do a class on like retention and some other things." And I was like, "See,
yeah,
thank you.
yeah,
Thank you. That is something that we can implement in
yeah,
to help you."
yeah. That all that stuff. I mean, it's great that you guys are willing to listen and to try to just constantly grow and be better for the members. And to me, like I said, it's just a great chamber. There's there's been more benefit than I've expected, and and part of that is I've gotten a little bit more involved, and but I do want to see, if the community succeeds and grows, and the services, the amenities that we've talked about during meetings, those grow as well, and that's really what we need. You want to keep people in Clinton County or bring people from other counties to Clinton County to see it, to visit, to spend their money,
Hmm.
all that stuff helps,
Right, it does.
you know.
And getting being part of the chamber. And it's funny is we have people that signed up for our newsletter that don't live in our county,
Mm,
but maybe they have a family member that lives in the county and they
right.
come and visit or whatever it might be. But yeah, like they'll come see our newsletter. And I mean, one of the Nourishing Novels is really great at sending us their weekly specials.
Right.
So they might see something that, appetizes them on their
Right.
little menu in the thing. And they'll be like, hey, you know what? I haven't seen such and such for a while. Let's go over to Frankfurt or
Right.
anywhere in Clinton County. And we're going to stop at Nourishing Novels.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things where, like, it goes farther than what I think people think it does.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'll tell you how powerful or how much the chamber is liked. I've got a new neighbor moving in next door where the liquor store was. He's opening a card shop for like trading cards like Magic and Pokemon and stuff like that. But when I first met him, I'm like, hey, Clinton County's got a great chamber. He's from Lafayette, but he's opening the business here. And he's like, I just like the community. It's a good location, 15 minutes away from my home. But so I hit him up like first time I talked to him about joining the chamber. I'm like, once you get established, it's a great connection. Well, then I talked to him a couple days later, and uh, the branch manager at the bank out front, she's like telling him the same thing I told him. He's like, I've been told twice I need to join chamber, and I thought, that just speaks to the power of not the power, but the importance of the chamber.
Right.
When one small place is getting ready to open up and two people hit the guy up to join, and it wasn't even a staff member,
Right.
but so hopefully he'll see the importance. And I try to tell people, if you're doing business in Clinton County, join the chamber
Right.
because you're gonna get something out of it. It's not just advertising. It's you'll learn stuff if you want to, and network. A lot of things that are about networking. It's about who you know. Yeah.
Mhm.
So.
And even if you like went to the state of the chamber but are introvert or whatever, but like if you still had like your Sam I Am shirt on,
Yeah.
I
People
mean,
see it.
people see it.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where I mean, I had someone well, we just got an application and his wife called in and she was like, "Oh my gosh, like I heard I'm from Clinton County, but we came back." And she's like, "People keep telling me we need to join the chamber." And I was like, "Oh, that's amazing."
Yeah.
And I want people to, I don't know, I want them to see the value of it.
Yeah.
But there's so much, I think it's like you can't put it on a piece of
Right.
paper and then
Right.
tell people and then they like,
Forget.
space
Yeah.
out or whatever, you're talking too much. But it's one of those things where we offer so much that we can't even say all of it.
Right.
But the main thing I think I love about it is that we give it back to the community.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we don't, like if we post an event, whoever we use, they'll all be chamber members and they'll all be in
Right.
Clinton County.
Right. Yeah.
So I like
Yeah.
that.
That's the benefit. I mean, you got to support people who support you.
Right.
And if you'd always prefer somebody that you do business with. I was talking to Jim Scott the other day about some advertising stuff, and he's like, I use these guys, they use me, and that's just how we do business. And that's a good way to do it.
Right.
Like there's a movie theater in Logansport that we clean consistently, have been for years now. Every now and then I'm like, let's go to Logansport to the theater, and support them.
Right.
When I want to go see a movie or whatever it is. So that's how you got to do it, and I think everybody wins. You're always looking for a win-win.
Right.
So that's one way you can do it.
Right.
If they want to join the chamber, if anybody's watching and wants to join the chamber, how do they do that? Just go to the Clinton County Chamber website?
Yep. You can go to Discover Clinton County. Discover Clinton County. And then there's like a little tab at the top that says become a member. And you can just fill it out online. Or my information is also on that page. Like my email is at the bottom. We actually have a full packet that has, again, not everything that we offer, but it like sometimes I'll email the packet out anyway if they apply online because it's just more
help
knowledge
understand.
and benefits, that they get. So
that's good. Yeah, I'd highly recommend it. And if you are an introvert like me, you can just do it online, and then, but you got to get involved no matter what. I mean, I've seen at the Bold business collective, there's one lady who's like writing children's
Oh yeah.
novels who just joined because she wanted to get ideas and kind of
Hmm.
network. I mean, that's great. It's a great opportunity. And she doesn't have a big business. She's actually trying to grow a business. And, I know she's taken away some stuff from the Bull Business Collective.
And we want to do we don't want to overwhelm the community, but we want to do more things like that.
Right.
And because it is such a benefit to your business. Like again, I wanted to pull my stuff out of referral just so I could, start back up again.
Yeah.
But and it's funny, it's such a small world because when I was doing real estate, I was coming into the iron block like once a week.
Oh, really?
Yeah, to meet my team there. And then I heard about the open position and I had been going in there for like years. And then I was like, oh, well, I
Yeah.
could. So, yeah, it's like such a small world. And I don't know, it happens for a reason, right?
Yeah. Yeah. You gotta trust and have your eyes open, and you'll see. I mean, to me, that's the best thing. Just being able to look back and just be amazed at what God's done.
Hmm.
And just there's no coincidences.
Yeah.
Back in AA, when I used to go to AA, they would say, some of the guys would say a coincidence is when God wants to remain anonymous. You know, but it's true. I mean, there's nothing that just happens for no reason.
Right.
There's always something behind it if you're following and looking. Even if you're not, if eventually someday you do decide to follow, you'll be like, oh my goodness, how did I get here? Because I thought about that. I never knew the term until I took the membership class, and Pastor Gordon was talking about prevenient grace. And that's the grace you get before you become a follower. And I'm like, that's what I've had all my life. Because there's so many times I should have been dead. I did so many dumb things in my life that I shouldn't be here today. But I am because of that grace that he gave me before that, and probably my mom being a big prayer
Okay.
warrior. She prayed all the time for me. So I think that had a big part to do with it as well. But it's good being part of the community, being just getting plugged in with people. It's we're not meant to be you know in a silo
Right.
or in a vacuum all by ourselves. We're meant to be together in fellowship and do life together, whether it's building a business, working in a community. It's all important for everybody that's involved, and we may not all have the same beliefs or ideas, but at the end of the day, we need each other.
We do. And it's like we need to help one another
Yeah. Yeah.
and support and be nice. And I mean, maybe some people's mindset aren't the same, but I mean, maybe they'll get there,
Yeah. Yeah. Talking about vehicle issues and God's grace, I'll just add this one story, um, or just how God works. We had a vehicle issue. I I was on my way to Crawfordsville in the work van. This was one of the problems that's happened over the last couple of weeks. I was on my way to Crawfordsville. Vehicle was running fine. I had just cleaned a place in West Lafayette. On my way to Crawfordsville, vehicle just starts running rough. I'm like, what is going on? Check engine light comes on. Anyway, I run a code. It's a engine misfire. Same issue we have all the time. Not all the time, but it's common. Uh, so I get the vehicle over to the shop. I take an Uber all the way out to my house because I'm like, I can run to Fisher's where I buy chemicals and stuff since I can't work right now. So I go down to Fisher's, and there just happens to be a guy who walks in, another customer at the same place I'm at, and he's like, uh, the guy I was talking to, he's like, man, this guy just bought a brand new van off an auction. He stole it. He got a great deal. Well, anyway, we're doing what we're down there for, and the guy, he's like, hey, I was going to ask you, would you be interested in maybe helping me out? He's like, I just bought this van thinking I might get into the business. He's like, I really don't know what I'm doing. Would you be willing to help me out? I'm like, yeah, man, no problem. He's down in Indianapolis. I don't have to worry about him taking my customers. But so I gave him my card, and a few days later, I hadn't heard anything, and then I get a phone call. He's like, "Man, I'm this thing's got me so frustrated. I had another issue with the van. I still don't know what I'm really doing. I'm trying cleaning at my house, and he's like, this is no joke, man. He's like, carpet cleaning's tough, and I'm like, I'm glad you say that because this guy looked like he was a professional athlete, like he was in good shape, and he's saying carpet cleaning's tough. So I'm like, all right, I don't feel so bad about always feeling terrible at the end of the day, like I just ran 500 miles or something. But
Well, you guys are like bent over.
yeah, and you're constantly moving.
Yeah, and like I'm assume those tubes are heavy.
Yeah, especially if you got to pull them up 3 or 4 or 5 flights of of a building. So yeah, he was, but he called and we were talking, and I'm like, dude, it is hard, but it can also be rewarding. You
Right.
know, my days, I enjoy this business. I enjoy doing what I do. I don't like all the extra headaches of vehicles acting up or this going wrong or that going wrong. But when I'm able to do my business, it's great because my days fly. You
Mm-hmm.
know, I work with really good guys. I just enjoy what I do. So I'm like, you kind of have to weigh that out,
Right.
and as a new person, but I just thought it was cool because we just happened to be in the same place at the same time, and he was needing some help, and I'm, you know, not a pat on my back. It's just the right thing to do.
Right. And
Help people out.
exactly. Just helping people navigate or help, like
Yeah,
some people are so like if they're in a certain industry so closed off. Like I'm not going
yeah,
to give you my secrets,
right.
but like you're willing to share
Yeah,
and help as you want to,
yeah. I'd
So,
rather have people out there doing it the right way, and
right.
and he's asking me, what do you do for, how much do you charge? How do you do your charges? So I'm like, I'm willing to share that information. I'm not
Mhm.
going to tell you everything I know, but I'll give you enough, And he's like, well, maybe if I decide I'm going to keep this, I'll give you a call. Maybe I just ride around with you, for a few jobs one day. And I'm like, yeah, just call me, man. Whatever you need.
Right.
And that's just how we need to be. And I think that's how people in this community are.
I absolutely 100% agree with that.
It's just we got to help each other. I mean, you don't want people out doing the wrong thing,
Right.
so it'd be
Right.
better to show them the right way. And
Right. We want everyone to strive, right?
right, yeah, you want people to succeed.
Right. So you probably came to our house in Colfax and realized all our carpet was upstairs and was like, oh
Yeah,
no.
yeah. If I remember, didn't you stair
Yeah,
kind of
it
curve?
did. Yeah, it did curve too. And I think it was all hardwood floor
On the bottom,
on the
yeah.
bottom. Yeah, because I remember I told Chris before we moved in, I feel so bad. The guy that lived there before had cancer, and
Mm.
he was young.
Oh man,
I think he was like in his 20s, got cancer,
jeez.
and he passed away. But I don't think anyone knew, and he had like 7 cats.
Mm.
So I was like, no, you've
Yeah,
got to get somebody. And he's like,
yeah.
Sam, I am. He'll come. He'll come. And I was like, okay, awesome, awesome.
Yeah,
So, and then, but I mean, I remember walking upstairs and there, like, even the smell, but even the carpet, like, it was just so much better. And I was like,
yeah,
okay, finally. Because
yeah,
we were living in Monticello
yeah.
and he was driving to Frankfurt and I was driving to Lafayette. And we
Oh
were
my
in there
goodness.
for like months. But yeah, I was, and yeah, and you did the chamber, and that was amazing. And you know what I also love is that you have the little tool to do like hardwood,
Yeah,
laminate, and stuff like that.
yeah,
And I remember coming home because so Dennis, our new dog, he is like at his, like he's good, right?
yeah.
Like potty trained and everything. I am so scared. Chris is going to be like, can we, like we just need, no, no, we don't. We need Joe to come in.
Yeah, yeah,
We need to clean our carpets. And I was like, oh, yeah, by the way, he has this amazing tool that he could do all our laminate too.
yeah,
So we don't have to worry about that
yeah,
either.
yeah. That is nice. I actually went and bought a special tool just for the chamber because it made it a little bit easier on us. But it did take some getting used to because it's like a swivel, but it doesn't lock, which it allows you to go around corners and under things. But
You've
it's
like,
just weird because you're like, it'll turn on you if you don't hold it just right. And you have to have the angle just perfect. See, and it's just small things that people don't realize we do. And that
right,
we know, we just, from doing this so long, we know what to do,
right.
and it just, it makes a difference in how well your carpet's clean, how quick it dries, all those things. So,
Yeah, I wondered, like, so I shampoo my carpets at home, and it's like not even,
yeah,
it's like,
people, I have not found, and I don't, having a cleaning van in my drive, I don't ever use anything. I did have like a little spot. I do have a spot cleaner that I've used a couple times, but the problem is so with cleaning, carpet cleaning, you need, there's like three things that are really important. You got chemical, you got heat, well, four, agitation, and vacuum. So those four things are like key. You can have like three of them and you'll be all right, but you really want all four of those. So, what tends to happen, and I know probably all the shampoo makers, the equipment for personal use says, "Oh, it's excellent vacuum," but
oh,
it if you don't get everything out, it's just going to accumulate more dirt because a lot of those chemicals, if they'll they seem to attract it. Like we have spot treatment that we always use. If you don't get that out, if we don't get all of that out, it's just gonna, all the dirt's gonna end up in that same spot we were trying to get rid of,
yeah, right.
because that chemical's got a like a residue. So that's one of the things we got to make sure we rinse that out really well, and rinse and vacuum it back out. Plus, our cleaning units get up to 210 degrees.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, and I swear, because our temperature gauge is broken, just by my hands, it's got to be above 210 because I can handle some heat, but that unit I use is very hot. Like it touches your leg, you're jumping,
Oh, wow.
because it's so hot.
So you have to like, if you get a new van, you have to like do that, right? Like you
Yeah.
have to fill it with all of your.
Yeah. Yeah. You got to get all the stuff we need. And yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it was funny because when you came to Colfax, I told Chris, I was like, make sure he knows that we didn't live here before,
Right.
like so embarrassed or whatever. And then, but like honestly, you shouldn't be though,
Right.
because like you're going to come home and it's going to
Right.
be clean. You don't have to
Right.
worry about it. I
Yeah.
will say, listening to your podcast, I started vacuuming my floor a lot more.
Yeah. But it is a big difference maker. I mean that your carpet traps so much stuff, and you would not believe the stuff that, like when we drain our units. I mean, there's so much. I'm like, where's all this sand and fine dirt come from? Like,
Right.
we're nowhere near a beach. How does it look like we've sucked up a sandbox?
It
It's
is.
nuts.
And well, it's funny because some people in my house, I won't name names, don't always do it, but I don't allow shoes in the house. Like I don't
Yeah,
want shoes in the house.
yeah,
And two of us are really good at it. But anyway, it's still like I vacuum. I'm
yeah,
like, how? We don't have shoes. Yes, we have one dog, but like
yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like, where does it all come from?
Right. It's amazing. I mean, between your furnace and AC, moves a lot of it. But yeah, your carpet is like your biggest filter in your
Yeah. Yeah.
house. So you want to be cleaning that pretty regular. And just thinking about like the equipment and stuff. So our equipment's pretty expensive because I'm looking at buying a new one right now. I'm like, oh gosh. And but right now it's crazy. We have to use a certain van. We have to use a Chevy Express or GMC Express or GMC Savannah 3500, so a 1-ton van. Just a cargo, no, 2 seats, a radio and your dials, and nothing else. I mean, besides the chassis and frame. Right now, they're selling for $52,000 for a brand new one, just for nothing, nothing special at all.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So when people are like, "Why are your prices expensive?" and we're reasonable,
Right. Yeah.
but people who've used us in the past are like, "Why? Why you really gone up?" And it's like,
Everything.
everything's gone up. I mean, when you just buy a shell of a van for 52,000, that's outrageous.
That's craziness.
But the market, to so I ended up, if I do this deal, I ended up getting a 2016 with 90 some thousand miles on it because that's more reasonable,
Right. Right.
and knowing that no matter what, the cleaning equipment will outlast the van. I'm going to have to move it eventually.
Right.
So it may be a little bit quicker, but at least it's in my budget
Right.
this time.
Right.
I just, even if I had the money, I'd probably struggle at spending 50,000 on a shelf. Just
Yeah. Yeah. I'm cheap. I'm not
but
cheap. I don't know. I don't. If I don't have to, like, I'll find an alternate way
yeah,
to get
yeah,
it done. You know.
yeah. I don't blame you. But yeah, so uh, I'm just, it's amazing. So there's a lot that goes into everything.
Oh
As
yeah.
far as the business. If people just, I get wanting to not spend a lot of money. I'm all for that. But at the end of the day, I got to tell people sometimes, do you want Sam I Am to still be around?
Right.
Because if I'm not making any money, we're not going to last for too long.
Right.
If I'm constantly just paying out and not bringing enough in, then we won't survive. So I got to do what I can to keep myself running and my employees. I don't want to let somebody go because I can't afford them.
Right.
So we just we don't. I'm not. I always tell people I'm not trying to get rich off of you.
Right.
I just I do need to make some money.
Right.
This
Right.
is a for-profit business. I'm not nonprofit, but yeah. So it's nuts, but you know, being part of the chamber's helped. It's helped me with my social media. Krista, like I said, did a great job with that. I've also made connection with one of the people that had been going to the bull business. I actually just reached out to him this morning about getting some door hangers for for us because there's still people who have no idea about Sam I Am, and I'm like, how? We've been around forever. I've got one van that's like you can't miss it.
Right. Decked out. Right. Right.
I'm like, how do people still not know about it? But it's the battle we're facing.
Right. Right. And it is kind of crazy too because, like, if you Google carpet cleaning, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah,
Like,
we're in the
we're
top.
there.
Yeah, and we got great reviews, and that helps us a lot.
Oh yeah, it does.
And like I said, Krista saying you have to be engaged on that page. You know, I'm like I got to do that.
Hmm.
But had I not gone to the Bull Business Collective, I'd been neglecting my Google page, and people wouldn't see it as well.
Right.
So yeah, it's definitely a great program. I appreciate you taking some time. I ended up going a little long. I didn't even think we'd talk that long, but yeah. it's easy when the conversation's good, you
Right,
know. And
that
we
we can,
have, yeah, we have, just you know, from not really knowing you and only knowing Chris, now I know you pretty well too from chamber and then church, and it's crazy. Our lives have
right,
intersected so
right.
much. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
So, yeah, that's great.
Yeah. Well, thanks for having me.
Thank you. And if anybody has a question or a comment or just wants to know more, you can always reach out to us through Facebook or the chamber and just ask. You know, we're willing to help anybody. If you need any other cleaning questions, send them in. I want to be able to answer some questions on here and be interactive. You know, it's people probably get tired of hearing me talk, so give me something to talk about. Uh, and I do hope to have like Zach and Shan on. I think it'd be good for people to meet them as well, and just get to know the team better. And if you ever want advertising opportunities, I know the chamber's always looking for sponsors for
Yep.
things. That's another big thing. They do promotions or like get-togethers. You got the casino night.
Yep.
Hopefully, that's going to be going on in October,
You're good.
and just all kinds of events. They do stage of chamber. They do some breakfast type things, and they're always looking for sponsors.
Yep. We started doing tailgate in the park last year, and we try to get like local food trucks to come and
Nice.
like do that
Nice.
stuff too. So yeah.
There's a new one. I don't know if you've noticed, or have been through here, but there's a new food truck. I haven't seen it before, but it's Gordo's. That's been hanging out in DG parking lot like once a
really?
week. Yeah.
I'll have to come back over here then.
Yeah. Yeah, I think they're out of Lafayette maybe, but I always tease Pastor Gordon, ask him if that's his side hustle. Like, when'd you get a food truck, man? I didn't even know. But yeah, so make sure you like, subscribe, and share if possible the video, the podcast, whatever. Laura, thanks for your time today. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Have a good day.
You too.
All right.